my YouTube friends, I am Kelly. Welcome to my portion of the community theme Round Robin Quilt Block 4. I was tasked with designing the first border, so let's get to it. The center for block number 4 is this kitty cat head. It was designed by Future Cat in New Zealand, so now I'll show you how to do my border. This is the drawing, mock-up, whatever you want to call it, from the pattern. It's kind of a churn dash, sort of. You do not have to make your inner strip the same color as your background of your cat fabric. Make your quilt your own, but that is what I'm going to do. And I did suggest it in the pattern that you might want to make this fabric and this fabric the same. But go nuts, do what you want. This is the fabric I'm going to use. More of the background. That piece is 4 inches wide, so I can cut 4-inch squares from it. I do not have a long enough piece of this gold. I have to piece it together, but we are using what we have, so that's fine. And for the other piece, I'm going to use this dark gray grunge. And I have a wide piece of the gold, because that is what I'm going to make the half square triangles out of. I have got the 3 fabrics designated in the pattern as background fabric, fabric A, just for the rail fence part, and fabric B, which is for rail fence and the half square triangles. So I am going to sew my strip set together like this. Background, fabric A, fabric B. If you are going to change this up and scrappyify yours, just do whatever you want to do, as long as you have rail fence section and 4 half square triangles for the corners, you will be good. I'm getting my strip set sewn together. Background, fabric A, fabric B. I cut my strips a bit longer than the 25 inches mentioned in the pattern, just for cutting leeway, because you do have to cross cut these after you sew them. So let me just get this started while I have it held properly, and then I will carry on off camera. Once you have the strip set sewn together, line it up carefully with your ruler. Cut them 5.5 inches long. So my 5.5 line is lined up on the edge. My seams are straight across the ruler, and the top and bottom. Hold carefully and cut. And you will get those. You need 4 for each block. The beginning of the first instruction in my pattern has you make the rail fence strips and then cut them up. The rest of that instruction is to put 1 piece on either side of the cat face, or you could do top and bottom, it doesn't really matter. I'm just doing it on the side with the background facing in. Sew these on and press toward the cat face. To make your half square triangles, line up a ruler like that on the back of one of your 4.5 inch background squares, and then draw your line from corner to corner. But I prefer to do a sewing line. So what I'm going to do, just a second, let me bring this in here. I didn't want to stop the camera. I have one of these Omni-Grid Fons and Porter rulers where you line up the ruler from corner to corner, and then on either side you draw the line. And that's your sewing line. That's what I prefer to do. I'll do that and I'll show you in just a second. There. See? I just did light pencil lines. You could use a water erase pen or chalk, or depending on what your color is, one of those heat ones, whatever. Anything that works for you to draw lines, it's all good. There we go. I'm showing you this on the back of the darker fabric because then you can see the sew lines better. So just line up your ruler again so that it's corner to corner and just cut down the middle. And I want to show you something. Once again, I was generous with the cutting instructions because this is what I have left of the gold fabric after I cut my 2 gold squares. 2 gold squares, 2 background squares, 4 half square triangles, all good. But I messed up, because on the background, I drew lines on the front. It's really hard to tell with these white on white prints. So, good thing I had a big enough piece, right? I just cut 2 more squares. I pressed all of the half square triangles so that it was toward the dark side. And now, these half square triangles need to be squared up to 3.5 inches. If you do not know how to square up a half square triangle, I will show you. First of all, take the diagonal line on your ruler, the 45 degree, and line it up along the diagonal of your HST. And make sure that the outside of this is past the measurement you need. So I'm lined up on the diagonal, and this here is a little bit past 3.5, and it's a little bit past 3.5 that way. And that is exactly what we want. But I'm also not short up at the top. Okay, I'm going to scoot this back just a smidgen. There we go. So then, hold it tightly and cut this way and this way. Don't let go. Get rid of all your bits out of the way. Move the ruler, turn it around all the way so that the dark or whatever the other color you used is on the other side. Now you line up to the measurement you want. So my diagonal line on my ruler is along my diagonal on my half square triangle, and I have 3.5 measured there, and I have 3.5 measured there. Hold it tightly, cut this way, and cut that way. Remove your bits. Whoop, that didn't want to cut all the way, so we'll go over it again, make sure. There we go. Voila. Perfect. I have my 2 border pieces sewn to the cat center, and the seams are pressed inwards toward the cat. So, lay out the rest of the block so that it looks like that. The background should always be facing in, whether it is your border piece or your half square triangle. So when you sew this row together and this row together, press your seams toward the half square triangle, because then they will nest when you sew them onto the rest of it. I will show you what mine looks like when it is done. I have my block sewn together. You should have it 11.5 inches square. I'm slightly short down here, but it's minor. I'm not going to worry about it. So, turn it properly so you can see it. That is what one of the blocks looks like. Now we wait for the next border, and we carry on. Thank you very much for watching this, everyone. Have fun making these.